Welcome back, enablers. Tonight we have a very special review for you. Now I know most of you have probably already seen our unboxing video where I was sweaty. We were unboxing in the garage, we got everything out, we were able to see the mini bust, and of course we were able to see the Robert Downey Jr. silicone custom bust here. But now that it's in the display room, I want to show you maybe some more details, some things I've realized over the last couple of days, some pros and some cons. But before we go into this, I want to say one more time a special thanks to Hannah Lee Studios for offering this bust and for getting it to me within like 2 days air shipped. Perfect condition, absolutely great. So without further ado, let's go ahead and see what this bust is all about, what are some of the pros, and what are some of the cons. So first thing I want to show you is where it sits in the display here. I have it sitting right next to this Taurus Nano Gauntlet, and I have it lit up right now. This is special thanks courtesy of Mike Edmondson. This Taurus is extremely difficult to find, but it is really nice. I've had the replica before. I think the replica is okay, but I like the paint job on the actual Taurus Nano Gauntlet better. I think that it matches the Iron Man Mark 85 a lot more closely, and I think that they just look really good together. Of course, behind Robert Downey Jr., you see the custom one-of-one Queen Studios Mark 7 bust. Now, everyone's seen the Mark 7 bust before, but this is custom painted. I purchased this from Collector's Arc from Randy, and he had this completely custom done. It turned out absolutely amazing. It's not just painted, but it's also scratched and dented, truly battle damaged. And I don't think I'm ever going to give this piece up. So, but let's look at the piece that you came here for today, and that is going to be the RDJ piece. So I want to start at the base here. And what you'll notice is we have a nice magnetic and metal plate. And it's very similar to kind of like the early Queen Studios bust. Real nice. It's removable, but you have the peg there, but I'll just show you. You know, not too bad. You could always put something to cover that up, but I kind of like having the nameplate. I appreciate that. Around the base here, just really well done. Still got a little bit of styrofoam and dust on it. I'll have to clean that off. But nice details, nice sculpting. You can kind of see it compared to the Taurus base. Very, very similar. As we go up, it's that nice red automotive paint. And of course, right now I have the lights on. And so the arc reactor and all of the internal lights are all connected to a single switch on the back. And that's fantastic. One push and it turns right on. And then of course we have RDJ himself right there, looking really, really good. So one thing I like better immediately of this versus the Queen Studios bust is that with Queen Studios, the arc reactor has to come out and you have to charge it with USB. Sometimes there's a plug, sometimes there's individual batteries. This is just all one thing. Now I do have this connected to a battery pack via USB, and it's charging both the Taurus and the RDJ as we record this. Now the bust and the paint and everything's absolutely beautiful. I mean, details are just seamless. Really, really nice. Again, I would compare this, and I will in this video, to the Mark 85. So before we kind of jump into the face, let's go ahead and take a look at the actual Queen Studios Mark 85. Okay, so here we have the actual Mark 85 made by Queen Studios. You'll have probably seen this before. Beautiful life-size piece. And if we take a look at the paint and we compare, it's really similar. It's that automotive, beautiful, shiny paint job. Obviously, this does not come with a bust. This is a licensed piece. One thing that I will say is definitely a little bit better, and I'll have to do it without the lights on, but the arc reactor in the Queen Studios life-size Mark 85 definitely has a little bit more detail. Now, in terms of pretty much everything else, that's really the only difference that I see here. Obviously, there's no RDJ sculpt that you can put on there. Now, looking at the RDJ sculpt, again, this is absolutely flawless. Now, what you will see, and you can probably see it in this video, is when I hold the camera from a certain direction or take some stills of this, you'll notice like some white speckling, and that's actually sort of just a gloss coming off of the skin. almost like he's sweating, or it's just kind of hard to tell just the way the silicone was made. Now, the silicone does feel very similar to the silicone of like a Doctor Strange or a Loki or a Queen Studios one-to-one bust, where I find that Queen has like a little bit more just sort of not oil but wetness to it, whereas Infinity Studios has it's kind of dry and thick. So that reflection is not actually something on the sculpt, it's just kind of the way the light is bouncing off of the camera. Now, I'll kind of zoom in a little bit here, and his beard is absolutely amazing. You can see, obviously, the speckling of the stubble where it's trimmed. You can see the grays and all the multicolors in his beard, and it kind of extends down to his neck, and it's just not one single detail missed. Lips look, very wet, very realistic, and then the sculpt of the nose, the eyes, obviously glass eyes, all hand punch hair looking really, really good. And just the details of the wrinkles, of everything just look really phenomenal. Obviously the hair, I didn't do anything to the hair. This is the way it came out of the package, which is awesome. It didn't get smushed or messed up in transportation. Kind of like the way an Infinity Studio would be. Sometimes they don't really do anything to protect the sculpt. They sort of just shove it in there and cover it up. So this turned out really, really nice. Now, this of course does come off. The head sculpt doesn't have any electronics or anything built into it. It is one piece, and I know a lot of people don't like to handle silicone, but what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll just pop off this head and we'll put in the Iron Man sculpt, and we'll see how that looks for a second. Okay, now we can see the Mark 7 custom battle damage with the Mark 85 Iron Man sculpt, and very similar paint job to the body. Actually, it matches perfectly. And as soon as I pop the head on, the eyes just turn right on. Has a little connector that picks up the electricity from the base of the neck. There's no plugs or anything cheap. It just literally pops on and it turns on. And so I'm going to back away a little bit so you can see the quality. And I mean, honestly, if this wasn't a commissioned piece, you would think that it came straight out of Queen Studios factories. Obviously, again, you have the Taurus next to it, and of course, the XM Hulkbuster, which is one of my favorites. And then just continuing down the line, we have the XM War Tank. And yes, I know I'm mixing comic and movie, but I truly think that those two pieces are some of XM's finest. And then, I mean, Iron Man is fantastic. A whole row of red and gold is absolutely beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and take the head off now. We'll put the RDJ bust back on and we'll see how that looks. So the light should kind of pop right off. You can see the little quick connect in there. Obviously little contact pads, that's what lights it up. And just really, really nice quality finish here. If you haven't owned a Queen Studios bust before, I'd say it's very similar to that. Also, the weight is very similar. It has some good heft to it. Definitely fully sculpted. Really, really nice. Almost like resin, not fiberglass, so that's good. We're going to go ahead and we'll get that RDJ now, and we'll put him back on because I truly think that there's no reason to get this bust unless you're going to keep him on there. And we'll just bring him a little bit closer up. So there's no contacts under here, just the bolts that help to connect it to the packing box. And God, just looking up closer to this, it's really nice. Even the details in the silicone on the back of the neck. Gosh, this is crazy. I know a lot of people didn't really believe that this was real when it first came out, and I can see why, because not only is it so perfect, it's probably the best likeness I've ever seen in the best production likeness, probably ever. But it's really, a custom company is coming out and making this, and yet Queen and Infinity and others couldn't tackle it. It was definitely kind of questionable, but I'm really glad that I made this investment, that I went ahead and ordered from Hannah Lee, and I'm just really happy the way everything turned out. So let's talk about the pros. Well, we've pretty much gone through all the pros, how amazing it is, how lifelike it is, best quality silicone bust that's ever been produced, and I mean, I own the Doctor Strange from Queen Studios, the Loki, the Captain America, Infinity, the Arnold Schwarzenegger, the T-1000, old Arnold, every Justice League. And I can honestly say that the quality in this one is by far the best. Another pro is that it came in a flight case. Now, some of you are asking how big is that flight case? It was just a little bit wider than the bust. And if I have this here, the bust is about 24 inches wide, and it's about, let's go with, probably about 32 inches tall. Now the flight case probably was about 36. I didn't measure it exactly. My guess is 36 to 40 inches wide, and about the same depth because it was square. The flight case also was probably about 3 feet tall in terms of height, maybe a little bit more. I can go back and I can measure the actual thing when I go back to my storage. So great shipping, great quality, and I mean, you guys know all the pros already. Simple power source that can be plugged into USB or a USB battery, lights the whole thing up with a single switch. Another pro is that it came with a mini bust so that you can display the Iron Man head if you'd like to. However, if you're someone who owns lots of other Iron Mans, like me, I'm probably going to throw it in the closet or in storage and just sort of keep it, probably not display it at all. Now, let's talk about some cons. One con is that there's definitely a little bit of lacking in terms of the arc reactor. And when you compare it with the Queen Studios Mark 85 arc reactor, they definitely have some more details. It's subtle. You may not notice it, you may not care, but that's definitely one thing that stood out to me. Another con is potentially, well, here's a big con. So when this was announced, we knew that there was a very low ES. However, as time went on, pre-orders continued to open, and we weren't really sure what was going on. Now, obviously, we have no control over that. But one con in particular is that there's no number on the base, there's no number on the box, there's no number in a certificate. So in theory, this can be produced over and over and over and over again. You don't know if it's authentic or if it's fake. However, if you get one like this and it's as good as this, do you really care? So I don't really have a problem with that, especially because most customs have to go that route. So that doesn't bother me. It's just I know it may bother some other people. Another con, no instructions on how to put it together, but who cares with that? If you're an instructions person, then I'm sorry. But it did come with that beautiful booklet with the artwork, and that was really nice. I know that this is one of the first that are shipping. I know that everyone is getting theirs pretty soon, but apparently there's going to be another batch that's going to be shipping towards Q4 or even Q1 in 25. So do I recommend this? Absolutely, yes, I do. I think that this is a bust that will die with me, along with, by the way, the Queen Studios Mark 7 1-to-1 custom. This is the definitive RDJ, and I have no need to look at another. Now, if a licensed version would come out, especially J&D 1/3 or even another 1-to-1, I would definitely investigate it, but I really have no reason to purchase one. So let me know what other questions you have. What did I miss? Leave a comment down below. I read all the comments and I get back to them. Let me know what you like about this bust or what you dislike. Did you buy one? Did you not? So instead of going live tonight, we made this video. I hope that you enjoy it, and by all means, hit us up. And if you're not a part of our Facebook group, go on Facebook and join Collectors Enabled, and post your pictures there, post your collection there, ask us questions. We look forward to interacting with you, and thank you for supporting the channel.